Kareem Hunt is an interesting case for a free agent. On the field, there are virtually no cons, to be honest. He's a versatile young running back who still looks to be able to perform as one of the top young running backs in the NFL. I mean, he's only in his early 20s. He should be up for a decent payday. But like anything that sounds too good to be true, there are factors at play that are going to prevent that. One, he's a running back, and running backs rarely get the double-digit paydays that a player like Hunt is worth. You have to factor in that he's lost a season and a half because of off-the-field issues, so he hasn't been able to accumulate the statistics that Zeke Elliott and Todd Gurley have been able to that kind of justify their double-digit paydays. Then you get to his off-the-field stuff, which is going to affect, his ability to make money in the NFL. Now, Kareem, since his incident where he kicked a woman in a Cleveland hotel while admittedly under the influence, he has not been in any of that specific type of trouble. He has not had any issues with women. He has gone and taken classes. He has done things with youth. I've heard he's been at a couple of high schools, Willoughby South, Cleveland Heights. He has done a lot in the community of Cleveland to try to kind of better his reputation and say sorry for that incident. So give him credit where credit is due. But there are just some small warning signs that kind of concern me about Kareem Hunt's future. And this latest incident with him being pulled over with weed and an open bottle of vodka apparently in his car is very concerning. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to feel about this situation. If you're not concerned about that, you have every right in the world not to be concerned about that, because that is not the brand of trouble that got him suspended from the league in the first place. But I would encourage you to watch the dash cam footage, because if you watch that all the way through and you listen to what Kareem Hunt's saying and you listen to just the nature of which these things kind of come out, you start to understand that there's something deeper going on with Kareem Hunt. And I truly hope for his sake in future, just as a human being, regardless of his football future, that he decides to seek professional help. That being said, we also have to look at this from a more callous free agent point of view. And right now, Kareem Hunt, with that video out and with a pending drug test also probably coming, and maybe even a suspension. I don't know where he's at on that one. I don't think he's going to get suspended for the first one. So now he might be also entering the NFL drug testing policy, which means he could be even easier to suspend. I don't think he's at a place where a team is going to feel comfortable offering him long-term good money. And with that being said, let's look at some of the free agent prospects of Kareem Hunt. Now, I normally like to break these kind of videos into pros and cons, but with Kareem Hunt, his cons really don't exist on the field. We've already discussed his cons. So, it doesn't make sense to break down his cons, because at the money you're going to be signing him, he really doesn't have a ton of cons at that price point. Honestly, it's all on the field. It's pros. There's reasons to sign him. The first reasons to sign him is that he is explosive and has very little tread. Kareem Hunt has missed over a year and a half in play, and even when he returned, he split carries with Nick Chubb, which means that Kareem Hunt is a 24-year-old player with the wear and tear of a 21 or 22-year-old. He is almost as fresh as he was when he came out of college, which is pretty valuable because he is relatively injury-free as well. So whatever team ends up with him, because I do think a team's going to sign him, they're going to get a young, healthy, barely used top 10 running back in the NFL, which is insane. You're probably going to get him for half the price that you would pay for a good 27-year-old used running back. The second pro is that he proved that he is willing to take many different roles on a football field. Nick Chubb was the second leading rusher in the NFL. He was obviously the bell cow for this Cleveland Browns rushing attack, which means Kareem Hunt had to take on a different role, not being the bell cow back like he was in Kansas City, which means that Kareem Hunt had to transition to playing fullback and being the team's third wide receiver option. And he did that extremely well. He was one of the best receiving options on the team. Certainly one of the most reliable, very good after the catch, very good hands. And as a fullback, he made some really good blocks and cleared out the way for somebody who's not, the typical build of a fullback. So again, just tons of versatility and explosiveness on the field with Kareem Hunt. And what this means is that a player like Kareem Hunt can provide a tool set as diverse, if not more diverse, than Le'Veon Bell for like a third of the price. On the field, Kareem Hunt is like the dream free agent running back pickup. A top 10 talent, young, injury-free, barely any tread on those tires. He should probably make like $12 million this year, but as we discussed earlier, his football talents just simply don't exist in a vacuum, just like Josh Gordon's football talents didn't get to exist in a vacuum, and that is where Kareem Hunt's future is dimmed tremendously. And with this most recent incident, it just doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of teams willing to take the kind of risk you would have to take to be able to pry Kareem Hunt away from Cleveland, because for Cleveland, it's just going to be so easy to retain him if they want to. Now, if the Browns don't want to retain him, that's going to be a different story, but it seems like they want to retain him. First landing spot and the most likely landing spot is going to be Kareem Hunt's probably going to be in Cleveland again. It makes a ton of sense for him to end up here, being tendered for like a second round pick, and the Browns just using that to keep everybody away. And with Stefanski looking like he wants to do some of a Gary Kubiak, Kyle Shanahan offense, having those two running backs be there with that kind of an offense, look at the damage that Coleman and Mostert have been able to do, and think what Chubb and Hunt can do in that same situation. It would be a tough combination to beat. Off the field, it makes sense too for Kareem Hunt, because it does seem like the organization and his locker room generally want to help him continue to be a better human being. And he has friends in the locker room, and his family is in the city, and that can hopefully keep him on the right path. But, and the big but here is that John Dorsey is the man who stuck his neck out to bring him here. John Dorsey is not here anymore. Neither is any of his right-hand men. They're all gone and replaced with people who weren't on the same side with John Dorsey. So the future is still kind of up in the air for Kareem Hunt in Cleveland. And while Stefanski, he expressed his interest in the Chubb and Hunt tandem, it's really not going to be Stefanski's decision at the end of the day. It's going to be up to Paul DeBethesda and Andrew Berry. And I have no idea how they feel on this matter. Is this something they want to move on from, or is this something they think is worth keeping? If we're thinking about purely football, I think it's worth keeping. Honestly, you already took the PR hit from signing him anyway. It's not going to be that big of a deal if you give him the tender. But, that's going to be the decision that DePodesta and Barry are going to have to make. And I have no idea where they're leaning on that one. But if anybody is going to do it, it makes the most sense for Cleveland to do it, because they already did it. The next team that makes some sense is Kansas City. Now, Kansas City just won the Super Bowl without Kareem Hunt, so this might be a moot point. But imagine what they can accomplish by giving their running back some help. Kareem Hunt would be an upgrade over what is, in the running back room. Damian Williams had a good Super Bowl, but he is not really a bell cow back. He had a good game. And think of what Kansas City can achieve with Kareem Hunt back on the roster. And again, for Kareem Hunt, there's familiarity in the locker room and with the franchise. Now again, the guy who took the risk on him, John Dorsey, long gone, just like he is in Cleveland. But on the field, it does make some sense. It would make more sense, honestly, if Kansas City did not win the Super Bowl. This would be kind of a put them over the hump move. But since Kansas City already won a Super Bowl without him, they feel like they have a good young running back, and they cut Hunt to avoid a PR problem the last time he had an incident. I highly doubt that they would re-sign him just to create one, especially after they won the Super Bowl without him. So it makes some sense, but it doesn't make that much sense. Again, it doesn't seem like Kareem Hunt has a lot of places to go. Another place I think would be interesting to make a move for him is Buffalo. Buffalo needs a move to put him over the top. And since they like to run the ball so much, this may be it. Adding Hunt to that running game and passing game may be the security blanket that Josh Allen needs to make it to the next level. And given the Bills already run the ball a ton, it'd be a perfect fit for Hunt. But again, I just don't see this fit working off the field. He doesn't really know anybody in Buffalo. Buffalo's pretty isolated. Now let's again be clear about the free agency of Kareem Hunt and why it's just so hard to sign him. It's not just exclusively because he's a running back and because he has some off the field baggage. It's also because he's not an unrestricted free agent, which makes things even messier. And that is the thing that puts his case over the top as unsignable for most franchises, on top of other factors. But if the Browns want to keep Kareem Hunt, it's very simple. You can put a second round tender on him, and that'll keep him on the team for $3 million for a year, and that would also keep everybody away. Nobody's going to risk a second round pick for Kareem Hunt at this point, which means if you're the Browns, you get to have Kareem Hunt on your team for $3 million. So while the off the field stuff may be unappealing to analytic guys like Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and Paul DePodesta, keeping a top 10 running back for $3 million in a year, that probably is very attractive. So again, it's hard to tell where the Browns would sit on this matter. But again, keep that in mind. The second round tender means that on top of whatever you're going to offer him having the ability to be matched, you would also have to give up your second round pick in order to sign Kareem Hunt, which means nobody is going to make that offer, which means Kareem Hunt really doesn't have free agency unless the Browns decide they don't want him, which means it's going to be up to who is going to want to take a risk for a PR hit, which is hard to really predict. And that's why I'm keeping my predictions kind of low here for this. I really think he's going to stay in Cleveland. It doesn't make sense for him to go anywhere else, and it doesn't make sense for the Browns to let him go anywhere else when they can have him back for $3 million in a year. And they already took the PR bump, and they fired the guy who signed him anyway. So really, they don't have any risk in the situation, to be honest. So it doesn't make sense for the Browns not to do it unless, they don't want to do it. But that's my thoughts on the matter. Do you think Kareem Hunt's going to stay a Brown like I do, or do you think he's going to end up somewhere else? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. And thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.